What is up, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new post-commentary duel video. Finally got to go to locals yesterday, and quite a bit of people there, actually. Surprisingly, had a decent turnout. I think I went 2-2, so media. I don't expect to do well at tournaments anymore, unless I pick up like one of the best decks of the format. Which I don't really plan on doing right now. You know, it's kind of I think it's kind of stale right now for me to want to be able to pick up anything that's out right now. I don't know. But we do have Paleozoic versus Pendulum. As you might tell already, maybe you don't know what is on the other side, but you know, the set 4, you know, traps and then a monster usually is a pretty good tell as to what that deck is, and you probably saw the title as well too. But pretty easy going turn, I would say, but a good turn nonetheless for the Paleozoic player. Looks like it anyways, but we have the Electromite play coming out. It's going to activate, I think that's Supreme Gate, King Gate 0, can activate that. And then the Astrograph Sorcerer will come down, adding to his hand the Mythical Beast Jackal. Never realized how good those two are in the deck. Mythical Beast Jackal, and then I believe Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. Now he has Black Fang and Supreme Gate. They will get destroyed by his trap card. I think it's that new trap card. It's basically like Twin Twister, but it's trap version, and it can only destroy face-ups, I believe. So it works very good in this situation for the Paleozoic player. But he will Pendulum summon 2 Supreme King Gate Zeros, and summon alongside of that the Jackal King. And at this point, I believe he's going to go into the basic contact fusion. We're very familiar with this combo. At this point, it's going to copy Electromite's effect, destroy, I think that is the Harmonizing Magician in a scale. That's going to trigger Astrograph to get summoned, adding another Harmonizing Magician to his hand off the resolving factor of the Electromite effect. And then he's going to overlay here for, I believe, the Pendulum exceeds rank 7, which doesn't stay on the field very long. It's just used to, I believe, link into Zephyra Metaltron, which just, I think it's only needs 2 monsters, 2 or plus more monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. But it does have 3 bottom pointing arrows, and it gets you the Vortex Dragon. Comes out of the extra deck for free because that other Pendulum exceeds, I believe it has left the field. And now he's going to attempt to use the Starving Venom, I believe. There's so many Venom fusion monsters that I forget their name. This is, yeah, Dragon Starving Venom. This guy basically just copies, would end up copying Electromite for the second time if he didn't go for the Vortex just yet. I don't know if he would have been able to do it the other way, so he gets to copy Electromite twice. I know when I played against the guy on the left in the tournament, he spanked me. But I think he did do the double Venom combo. But, you know, regardless of whether he gets that second combo off, he could eventually overlay, and I think he's going to anyways soon, regardless of what happens, is going to overlay into number 38, Hope Harbinger. But as you see over there, he does have that trap card, Swords of Light. Basically, you pay 1,000 to negate every attack. I used to play it in Infernoids. Decent card. Not terrible in a deck like Paleozoic, you could imagine. Has a utility in the grave, utility on the field. All around good card, but it does make you pay a hefty cost in terms of life points. But actually, it looks like that'll be enough. That'll be enough to do it for the Pendulum player. Take the win there on round 1. And Paleozoic player starting off, setting 5. And then it looks like standby phase, we will see the anti-spell. He'll go to attack with just a normal summon Pendulum monster. It will get booked face down, though, by one of his Paleozoic traps. Won't be taking any unnecessary damage just yet, but he's going to summon a Black Fang Magician. Flip up. I believe that's 2 Black Fang Magicians right there. Attempt to swing in for more damage, but there's that Swords of Light card. It will trigger the Paleozoic Engrave, and he'll pay 1,000 to negate the attack to keep that level 2 Aqua on the field. As you could imagine, probably to try to make an exceeds at some point. Although I'd imagine, having paid now, I think 3,000 at least for that trap card. Gonna have to do something there. Breakthrough skill being activated. Summoning Dupe Frog, going for Toad. Getting some momentum here. Gonna beat over the Black Fang. And there's Astrograph. Might have as well have predicted that one. It will hit the board. It will activate its effect to search. There it is, the third and final copy of Black Fang Dragon out of the deck. No more of those to worry about. Gonna get Ash Blossomed in the standby phase. That is rough. Going to summon the Dupe Frog to kind of get in that lock where you can only attack the Dupe Frog, but then you can just pay the 1,000. Looks like he will negate the Ash Blossom with the Toad. Feels maybe it's more important to get the effect off and get the added benefit of adding back a card to his hand off of that frog. And I believe he had another copy of Dupe, so he has another copy of Dupe Frog in his hand. And then he's going to activate, looks like Dimensional Barrier, summoning out another trap card from his grave, another Paleozoic. Stopping him from this point, I believe, from doing any pendulum effects, but that's not going to stop him from using Electromite. Going to send Chronograph Sorcerer to the extra deck. Not doing him any good there right now. Dupe Frog hitting the grave, adding Swap Frog to hand, and then he's going to pay 1,000 for his Paleozoic. I don't know all the names of the Paleozoics. I did a while ago, and I don't remember them anymore. But that one is the one that Book of Moons them, basically. I think that is what that one does. There is Jackal King on the board. Kind of deciding what to do at this point. He does have Anti-Spell up still. He still does have that trap card protecting him from losing any of his monsters. Swap Frog is going to be normal summon, sending Ronin Totem. Going to be returned to the hand. And then he's going to use his ability to special summon, discarding Dupe Frog, sending another Ronin Totem to the grave. At this point, he's really got his engine going, able to bring out more Toads later on because he does have a second Ronin Totem in grave. Going to use his trap card and Ronin Totem to go into not Anomalocaris. That's the one that takes 3 level 2s. Forget this one's name. But it does get to search him a trap card. And I believe it does have to be a Paleozoic. And you can activate it from hand. And that will trigger another Paleozoic in grave. And then he's going to banish Dupe Frog to summon another Ronin Totem. However, at this point, he does not have any other extra monster zones to go into, which can be a problem. But he's going to link into Mastar Boy. I was kind of expecting that when I saw him play. A lot of Mastar Boy action going on, as you can might have guessed. Very good for the deck. You know, it being taking 2 waters, boosting your waters by 500, and giving you 2 extra monster zones, and giving your opponent none. Very, very good. But it looks like the setup is going to be too strong. You don't even get to see the game finish there. And the Pendulum player will concede as they head into Game 3. Now, as you might have noticed, the time on the screen, there is about, 11 minutes left in this video. And I really hope you do stick around for that. This is going to be a long Game 3. Overdragon and Harmonizing Magician in the scales. Summoning, I think, Astrograph Sorcerer and Wisdom Eye Magician. Going, of course, for Electromite. And that looks like to be a Ghost Ogre discarded to destroy his Electromite. Sending Chronograph Sorcerer to the graveyard in the response to try to complete its effect. Supreme King Gate 0. And another Pendulum being used to make another Electromite because he can still Pendulum. I don't think he Pendulumed before, or he might have. Obviously, he can only Pendulum once a turn. Astrograph Sorcerer hitting the field because of the Electromite effect. I think Astrograph can just come out of the extra deck if there is a Pendulum that is destroyed on the field in like any position. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the card. All I know is when something dies, Pendulum related, and it's in your hand, or I think in the face-up in the extra deck, you can get to summon it for free. And it looks like there is a Ghost Ogre very firmly placed Ghost Ogre into the graveyard, saying, no, no, no. No Toad shenanigans for you, sir. You're not going to add it back to your hand, and you're not going to summon it again to make a Toad, or a rank 2 in this case. It's a very good stop to that play right there. As you can tell, the Pendulum player did opt to go first this time, so he wouldn't have to worry about going into the setup that the Paleozoic player was going to bring. You know, we saw the first 2 games, same old setup. You know, having to go into that second's very rough sometimes, but this time he opted to go first and able to play around that. Summoning Cerberus, Astrograph Sorcerer on the field. There's Chronograph Magician. I can't speak right now, dude. I just can't. I'm sorry. Chronograph Sorcerer and Jackal King hitting the board. It's got a lot of damage on board right now. Jackal is at 2,400, I believe. Cerberus at 28. Chronograph at 2,000. Electromite only has 18, but the damage, as you know, stacks up, especially with Astrograph being at 25. I believe that's Naruto, the Moral Leader, which is the levels or rank 6 spellcaster. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can attach 1 XP material from this card. Negate the activation if you do destroy it. It's the exact text on the card. I remember playing this card a while back in a certain Monarch builds. You could pull this card off, I believe. Very, very good card. It used to be really expensive, and I think it got a reprint. Harmonizing Magician and Purple Poison hitting the field. Has plenty of resources available to him right now, and I do believe that Cerberus is getting counters on it as we speak for every Pendulum card placed. And there's a Paleozoic being played to try to book Naruto, but Naruto, as we know, of course, is going to negate it. Going to activate those Sacred Swords, and as you might have imagined, with the Naruto already being expelled its effect this turn, he will be able to pay, it looks like, probably 3,000 in response to all the attacks. However, Purple Poison's effect will be able to be utilized here to clear that off the field, so he doesn't have to worry about running into that anymore, at least for the time being. So his attacks will hopefully go through now, unless he has another one set. Of course, you never know. He might. Passing it over to the Paleozoic player. Still has a couple of counters on that Mythical Beast Cerberus. Does have that trap card engraved. I believe it ends the battle phase when engraved. I could be wrong. It does have to banish itself in order to do that. We're going to see Ronin activate, banishing the Swap Frog. Going to try and go into a Link 2, perhaps. Or not a Link 2, my bad. A rank 2, probably a Toad, or something along those lines of that. I don't think he'd be going into another Paleozoic monster, Exceeds-wise, but he's going to be going into Totally Awesome as expected. At this point, I believe the only thing he could beat over is the Harmonizing Magician or the Electromite. Obviously going to go with the Electromite, biggest threat on the field. See if he sets anything else. I don't know if he will. We'll just have to wait and find out. However, I believe Chronograph Magician gets activated on his side of the field as sort of a hand trap, and then we will see it get negated. I think he discarded a Dupe Frog to the grave, and then standby phase during the Pendulum player's turn. We'll see Toad summon a Dupe Frog from deck as expected, and then I think it's a Heavy Duster as that trap card. It's like the trap version of Twin Twister. I can't remember. Oath Dragon getting activated in the scale, and then Mythical Beast Cerberus is going to use its ability to, I think once it has 4 counters on it, it can just destroy something. But Toad is going to negate it as expected. You know, why not? Get that thing set to your field for free. Adding a card back, of course, with Toad. Now, at this point, probably going to either link or fusion into Venom King. Going to copy Oath Dragon, perhaps. Oath Dragon destroying itself. Or using Venom King to destroy Oath Dragon, using its copied effect. And then Astrograph will be triggered. And then he will get to draw I believe. I'm kind of confused with how this pendulum decks work, so bear with me if I'm not getting everything correct. We'll get to summon the level 4 dragon to the field. I believe as a normal summon this turn. Not too bad. Naruto still being kind of a threat, I would say. Gonna hit his chronograph sorcerer with that Naruto. Still has another set card on the side of the field that obviously belongs to the pendulum player. But thanks to the double toad that we saw earlier, we're gonna see another link into Decode Talker this time. He'll gain an extra 500 attack because it is pointing to Naruto, putting him to 2800, and he will has the defensive ability that Decode Talker offers. Going to flip up Cerberus on his side of the field now. The Paleozoic player got some pendulums to work with now, but obviously won't be able to utilize their effects too much. I don't know if it's on his side of the field now, if it will be able to still get counters for the things the pendulum player will be activating. Not sure. Activating Paleozoic. Summoning one from grave. Naruto did get destroyed in the battle phase because he does now have Cerberus, which can beat over that, so he does not have to worry about that thing inhibiting any plays right now. So very, very good for the Paleozoic player. Going to be able to search a trap card now. Another Paleozoic, as you might have guessed. And I believe now they're in turns. I think this video unsped up is like 46 minutes. So I had to speed it up a little bit so I wouldn't like destroy my voice talking for like 25-30 minutes straight without speeding up too much, Activating the one that does Foolish, a trap to the graveyard. One of the better traps for Paleozoics to work with. Ronin coming out again. Another Paleozoic track being activated. Can activate them from the hand, I believe, because of his Xyz monster. And then we're going to see another Ronin come out. Just so many Ronin Totens. But he's going to have to give up his Xyz to go into a Mastar Boy, I believe, is at this point is going to be what's the call. Not using the Ronin. Going to use, instead a different card. I think he's going to use his Pendulum. Instead, place that over there, that other Link monster. Not exactly sure what that one is. Might be Borlo Dragon. Not entirely sure. At this point, going into Totally Awesome to sort of seal the deal. I believe that's Borlo Dragon. I could be wrong. I believe that is Borlo Dragon that he did end up linking into. And then we'll see Dupe Frog come out in the standby phase. Pendulum player not looking too good. Standby phase of the Paleo player's turn. We're going to see Swap Frog get summoned out by Totally Awesome. Has no materials now, but that's not that big of a deal. Because he can still activate his effect just by attributing himself. Doesn't need any materials underneath him. So, at this point, just going to link into Proxy Dragon. Interesting. Adding back Dupe Frog off of the Toad. And then normal summoning the Dupe Frog. I believe just trying to get some damage on board at this point. Ronin Totem activating again, banishing Swap. Going for Daigusto Phoenix. Haven't seen this card in a while. However, as you can tell though, trying to get some damage on board. 2 level 2 monsters for Daigusto. Basically allows a wind monster to attack twice. Always pretty much going to target itself. Any deck we've seen utilize Phoenix other than Daigustos themselves is pretty much just going to use it to target himself to get that double 1500 attack. But the set card on the Pendulum side is not going to be enough to fend off all the damage, building up all of the graveyard resources coming in clutch, all the Paleo plays, etc., coming in clutch to give him the win there after that long 47-minute match. Paleo player will win in time 2-1 over Pendulums. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Apologize if I missed some things. I had to speed this video up quite a bit from normal because it was a 47-minute video. So regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to kill signing out. We'll see ya in the next one.